Jacori Greer, Baylor's new defensive line coach, joining the show. And Jacori, welcome to Waco. It's not in coaching, especially with the portal. There's not a lot of time, is there? Let's go do some house hunting and let's go get to know everybody and we'll go find a church. Like, you hit the ground, you've got to fill all these positions. It all happens in a hurry. Have you finally had a chance to settle in a little bit?
So my wife just moved here with me not too long ago. We've been in an Airbnb for the last month. And so we just signed for our house. We're going to move in March 1st. And so I'm excited to finally get some keys and get stuff put in, taken out of boxes and just get things set up. So, but it's been a whirlwind.
Okay. And for Coastal Carolina, before that, you're in Ruston. I mean, you're in that time of your life where if you're going to move up in your profession, you got to move and you got to make some moves. For you, why was Baylor the right move? Because I obviously, Power 4 program. You and Coach Spavital, I know, were together there at Texas State. So I'm wondering how much of a role he kind of played in recommending you. How did this come together?
Yeah, this game is still, as much as it is transactional, it's still relationships, especially in the coaching world. I had worked at Abilene Christian for Kansas State's GM, former GM. He was the defensive coordinator. His name is Clint Brown. And so, Joe coming from Kansas State, I kind of had that in. Jake being here was a big play in me coming here. And then, Keenan Hall, I've known since I was a kid. And so there was just a lot of different, avenues to get me here. And my wife, this is home for us, man. Like, I'm an hour and 30 minutes from home. My wife's from Austin originally. So this was a no-brainer, getting closer back to family and home.
Okay. And you graduated from Carrollton Newman Smith. Yep. You also spent a little time at SOC, and I know Keenan, very proud of his association there with SOC. By the way, SOC, isn't that amazing? I mean, it's not like they don't have great history, but I remember SOC when I was playing at Kaufman, Texas. SOC was a great basketball school, and to see what they've done in football, that corridor right there, Jacori, from a recruiting standpoint, if you can just kind of hit that, and then you go over to Carrollton if you want to and just kind of see how they're doing. But that's kind of an amazing deal. Are you going to is that kind of going to be your area? Are you going to what's your recruiting area? Obviously, but
they kind of got me. Yeah. As of right now, I'm going to where the D linemen are. So if there's D linemen there, okay. I definitely am gonna stop by for sure. And we've offered some kids in that area. It's as talented as it's ever been, just like you said. I mean, right now you got 8 or 9 guys coming out of that general area that all can go play Power 4. And I mean, they're really, really talented. So everybody's kind of hunting the same kids right now. But it's ultra talented right now in that area.
Jacori, what was the reason you went into coaching? Was it somebody you ended up playing for University of New Mexico, but who has been your biggest mentor in the coaching business? And I'm sure there have been several, and like you say, you even mentioned different people that you've met over your time. But when it comes to sort of your philosophy and what you think about defensive linemen, who would you say has shaped you the most?
Yeah, 2 guys, really. One guy, Reuben Carter, was the first D-line coach I ever had at the collegiate level. I mean, phenomenal. He played 13 years in the NFL, coached 10 years in the NFL. Just a remarkable technician. Showed me what it means to play D-line and play different schemes. Very impactful on my life. And then the other guy was Archie McDaniel, who became my coach under Bob Davie my last 2 years at the University of New Mexico. Archie's the linebacker coach at Illinois. He's not a D-line guy at all. He's a linebacker guy. So he gave me just, looking at run game and different fits and how to fit things up. He gave me a different perspective that I probably wouldn't have gotten had I not been under him. And so those 2 guys have really, even today, Before I make a move, I typically call those two and get some input and see what they say.
Yeah, it's funny how different coaches bring up different memories, and I've certainly know Ruben's name, but you mentioned Bob Davie, and I think of the Texas A&M fighting
That's
Aggies,
right.
and Bob Davie's time there. What about Coach Clanderman? Like, how much of what he wants to do and what y'all have been talking about, how much are you? Is there, does that jive pretty well from what you've done in the past, and what is it about? I had him on recently, and he certainly seems to be someone that likes that attacking style. He loves those interior linemen, not just to be taking up space, but getting after the quarterback. How much of that kind of fits with your beliefs, and what's it been like working with him so far?
He's a phenomenal human. He's a big old joker too. I don't know if you've ever seen him or guys haven't seen him before. That dude, when he walks in the room, you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize you're that big. But he's phenomenal, really sharp. Definitely fits me to a T. I was with Jeremiah Johnson the last 2 years, and all we did was attack. That was a fundamental pulse of who we are and who I am. And so coming here, and the first thing he told me was, I want guys being aggressive. I want guys playing in the backfield. It was just a breath of fresh air for me. And so we got guys that can do that, I think, and we're kind of figuring it all out right now as we go. But I'm excited about what this defensive line is really going to look like.
Yeah, and that had to be interesting in the portal because you're making quick decisions. I think Dave Aranda really wanted to change maybe the way he evaluated some in talking to him. What was the biggest priority? And I want to obviously talk to you about some of these transfers, Xavier and Hardy coming in from South Carolina, but I'm thinking about the kid from Marshall, Jamal Weiss, and then from Texas State. That doesn't shock me that you would look there for a transfer. Like, what was like the biggest thing you were looking for? Was it, hey, we want guys that have already had that production, at this, whether it be whatever level, highly productive players? What were you valuing the most when it came to some of these portal players?
That's a great question. Number one for me, there's no substitute for guys who have played. I could care less if a kid was coming from Ohio State if he only played 2 snaps. We're in the dawn of age, especially here at Baylor, where we need guys that have experience, that knows what it's like to be out there in front of 60,000 people plus and play. And so I thought we did a really good job of prioritizing guys that have played, that have been productive, but maybe haven't been in the right scheme, or maybe haven't been coached to the way we coach. And so that was the number one thing, looking for guys with some experience who has played in games, but then also has been productive, and we could be proud of being a Baylor Bear.
All right. And just from a 2-gap, 1-gap kind of, again, like you say, you want guys to get in the backfield. What are you and Joe, and y'all are kind of getting on the board and looking at this? What should we expect to see from your linemen in terms of that? Because, from what I can remember, Dave Aranda kind of there's parts of him that kind of like those space heaters, or I'm going to sit here and I'm going to try to be 2-gap. It seems like Joe may value maybe more the 1-gap. What should we expect in that regard?
I think there's a place, and this is not a cop-out of an answer, I promise, but I think there's a place for both. I think in this day and age, if you're doing one thing, you're probably not going to be very good because these offenses are just so good, especially in the Big 12. So I think at times you're going to see us probably eat some blocks, but at times you're going to see us just be really, really explosive at the point of contact. And it may look like the kid's getting reached, but he's just playing vertical. And so with doing that, I think it gives us a really good complement to who we are defensively.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to do some politics later in your career, you can kind of, I like that.
I can't tell you everything.
I know. Now, but I got to continue to investigate here because,
right.
And Joe was pretty open about, like, he's done some 3-4. He did some 4-3 at Kansas State. and again, the big buzzword now, even in the NFL, multiple. We're going to be multiple. They don't like to get back in the day. Bill Parcells comes to Dallas. Hey, guys, it's time to start drafting. Get these little linebackers out of here. Get these little mighty mites out of here, and let's get the 3-4 going. What do you, as you kind of think about your base defense, though, 3 down or 4 down looks? What do you feel like is going to be the base as y'all kind of start to really think about how you set this thing up?
Yeah, I think I'm a fan. As first off, as a defensive line coach, I want as many defensive linemen on the field as possible at all, right? So selfishly, I would love that if we could do more 4 down, I think that fits who we are. But again, like being 4 down doesn't mean you have being 4 down doesn't mean when we get to our 3 down stuff that we're not in a 4 down defense. Like we don't have 4D linemen on the field. And so that's what I mean by multiple. Being able to go in and out of different things without having to sub, I think is really, really big. And we have the ability to do that.
All right. And then people are dying to know about some of these transfers. And by the way, anything on Wheeler? Is there any? I mean, I feel like my head's spinning because there's so many court cases out there, and this guy being eligible and all. What's the? You get to be around him on a daily basis, and what's going on with him?
He is taking this thing like a champ. I mean, just being where he's supposed to be, doing the things. He's pushing our room already. We're acting as if he's here with us. We haven't really heard. I know there's some ruling stuff that's supposed to be coming down the line in a couple weeks. Hopefully we get some information before spring break is the hope. And so we're just kind of counting our chickens that he's going to be with us.
Okay. He obviously coming off a national championship. I don't know if he's flashing the ring around or if you've gotten to peek at that, but I mean, he started 6 times, was a huge part of their rotation. And, how do you, if you get to use him, and it seems like he would be a great anchor for you, what would his role be? I mean, I like what you're saying. You like guys that are probably have some versatility. When he was at his best in that Indiana defense, and my gosh, it was a good one. What was he doing?
Yeah, I think he is the prototypical vertical knockback nose guard, and not just playing just a 0, but being able to play a 1 technique, being able to play a G, being able to play a 2 technique. He really has a good foundation of being able to do a lot of different things, but physicality and going vertical is his strength by not even close. Movement stuff, yeah, he's got that too. But if you ask that dude to go vertical, he can be a problem.
Do you like showing players like that? Any of the NFL guys? Obviously, a lot of them want to play at the next level. Do you do that with guys and go, here's a guy I really like for the Seahawks, just to use the Super Bowl champions? Or how often do you do that? Or do you more show them maybe some of your college players or how some of your guys have done it in the past?
Yeah, you have to. I think nowadays that's the end goal for a lot of these guys. It doesn't seem like it all the time, but that's still the end goal. So I do spend a lot of time of studying, making cut-ups of different guys that remind me of them and their play style. But the other thing I do is I watch their tape. Like we pick apart their tape. Wheeler, all games he played in from Indiana, we sat down and we watched and we went through it and we talked about the different techniques that he was asked to play, but then also how I can help him within those techniques and grow here for what we want to do here at Baylor. And so I think that's what resonates with a lot of these recruits that we've been able to land is, okay, you have a good foundation of who you are, but this is how I can help you become what we all want you to be.
Is there any NFL player that seems to show up in your cut-ups more than any other?
I love Milton's game, man. Williams,
I was just about to bring him up because I thought that's so funny you said him because I love his game, man.
He was at La Tech and he, not when I was there, but I got to meet him before. He's a great human, but his game is it's power, it's speed, it's vertical. He doesn't spend a lot of time at the line of scrimmage, and so that's what we want to be at the end of the day, is that.
I just think of that was a huge free agent move for them. And, you had to kind of project it, right? I mean, it's not like he wasn't in the Eagles rotation, but he wasn't like a true, like, okay, this guy's a lockdown starter. And yet they go, listen, we think this is what this guy is.
Right.
And then they're playing in the Super Bowl. And,
Right.
and again, that a lot of times you say the teams that spend the most don't always win the most. But I would say playing in the Super Bowl, that team spent a huge amount in free agency, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's okay to get out there and spend a little bit. Okay, people are dying to know Jacori Greer with us on the Matt Mosley Show, his first, I hope, of several appearances. But now this Marshall transfer, Jamal Weiss, I think, 6'4", 305 pounds. Now, Baylor's had the guy that came in from LSU a few years ago. They've had those enormous Apu, I guess was his name, like a monster guy. It doesn't seem like you have those guys. You have, again, now we're at a point where we're acting like 305-pound guys aren't big, right?
Yeah.
We've reached that point, which is really kind of crazy. But what does Weiss bring, and what stood out about him?
He's edgy. He's not your typical just humble, wonderful deal. Like, he's not that. Like, he's a great kid, and he's mature. He's got 2 children. He takes care of his children. He's a different type of edge for our room. Like, if he doesn't like something, he's going to say it. And I can appreciate that. I think in a defensive line room, and really in every room, you need a couple guys that don't always just fit the bill and go with the flow. I don't think you can have a ton of them, but I do think you need a couple of those guys, and he's that for us. But I've been proud of him, classroom-wise, handling his business. He's trying, and so we got to keep our foot on him. But I'm glad he's here.
Did people call you edgy when you were at New Mexico? Did you have some edge to you?
Probably. I was a little bit of a jerk, I didn't put up with very much. I thought I knew it all, and so yeah, it's interesting now coaching. I'm like, gosh, yeah. I'm glad I don't have to coach me. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, you come across as very nice, but I know how you coaches are. I bet when it comes time to hold a guy accountable, you don't mind doing that. Xavier Hardy comes in from South Carolina. Now that's I would say he may have the highest ceiling of a lot of these guys, but maybe that's more of a projection, whereas the Texas State player, Washington, certainly you can base that on some production. Those 2 players, what stands out to you?
Man, when Zay walks in the room, he looks like an SEC football player. Like, he is a good-looking joker. He's actually going to play defensive end for Coach Hall. But shows up, works his butt off, trying to get in shape. We're battling that right now. But, man, I'm just telling you, he is fun to watch. Smile, great energy. He's growing. And so I'm excited about his progress. And every day he continues just to get a little bit better. And so that's what you want right now. Cam Washington from Texas State, I recruited to Texas State. And so he came to Texas State, and then I ended up leaving. And so it was crazy how it happened, but to have him here, I've been really proud of him as well. He's matured. He's 296 pounds, 97 pounds, quick twitched. That's what I liked about him. He gave us something that, the bigger guys didn't necessarily give us, is just his explosion and his quick twitch and how he plays. I think he would have a chance as well. So right now it's just getting all these guys comfortable with what we do, getting them in shape, getting them faster, getting them stronger, and making them go compete. And so that's our battle cry right now, is just trying to get them right and get them ready to go.
Do you have in your mind like a goal that you would even discuss with your interior lineman, your defensive lineman, on like sacks? I just was looking at whether it be Texas State or even at Louisiana Tech. When you got there, you and your defensive coordinator, y'all changed that thing in a hurry, and y'all took a huge step up. Do you find yourself like actually coming up with numbers? You know, there was a guy at Baylor that used to say take 3, which was about takeaways. He wanted 3 takeaways a game. Do you have like in mind, like how many sacks you want your guys to have, or do you not really think in those terms?
We talk about it as we get closer to the season. Right now, we talk more about what it takes to get the sack. Like what we're developing right now, what their pass rush move looks like, what the counter move off their pass rush is, right? And so we're spending more time right now of more focusing inward just because we have to. We have so many new bodies. Outside of Tez, there's not a guy that's really played here. Like a couple, Braylon Jackson's played a few, but there hasn't been a bunch of guys in our room right now that has played. And so we're really breaking this thing down layer by layer and really trying to drive home the technique aspect so we can get to those sacks.
Is Tez embraced kind of being the vet? I mean, is he, that's an interesting place to be suddenly. You're so many guys leave, then you get the huge amount of, so those few holdovers, they take on a more important role, don't they?
Yeah, we're building him to that. Like he's, Tez is a very quiet, very humble, very meek, but he's so, you look at him, you're like, gosh, you just look like a Greek god almost. Like you are a really good looking, good dude. I'm just breaking him out of that shell. And so he knows my expectations and he's going to have to continue to work through that. But here at Baylor, man, nothing's given. Every single day these guys are fighting to earn everything. And so that is something that we're big on here. That is Coach Clanderman. That is Coach Aranda. We're not giving them anything. Everything here is going to be earned. And it's wide open. It's as wide open as it's ever been.
Man, that was really something like what y'all did at La Tech, looking at those numbers and everything. And so that'll be fun. By the way, the Thetas on the Baylor campus, when I was there, when I got there, used to do something. I don't know if you could even do this anymore, but like they'd have a Greek god contest. And thank goodness, I don't think they let the football players participate, but this will shock you, Jacori. I did not ever win that, nor did I get nominated, but anyway, you made me think about it. They used to have the Thetas would have the Greek god. Guys would be up there, flexing the whole thing. Well, have you gotten around town a little bit? Do you have a favorite place to eat yet, or are you still kind of discovering things?
Oh man, my wife, man, I work long days, and then as soon as I get home, my wife's got us a reservation somewhere, and so I'm taking advantage of it right now. I'm like, hey, when spring ball starts now, we're gonna have to calm down a little bit. But I've been everywhere. We went to the Brasserie. Yesterday was my birthday, and so we went to the Butcher Cellar. We've been to, we've been all over the place. The Red Heron. You name it, we've probably been there in Waco, and so it's an awesome community, and everybody's really, really nice, and so I'm just excited to be here.
All right. Well, I'll send you a few more of my, like, over there on Elm Street, and you got to go on down Elm Street, but some barbecue spots that I have that are not on the tour, right?
Okay.
Kind of behind the scenes,
there
but we're talking Tony DeMaria's and Jasper's and all the ones. There are a lot of great ones, but I've just got some things that that not everybody knows about. So
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'll share some of those with you, but it's where they serve it on the old wax paper.
There you go.
The only drink they offer is Big Red, and so anyway, those were some of the places that I love. And the barbecue sauce is actually it's like they call it gravy, but it's that thin gravy. Anyway, I'm getting hungry just talking about it. Jacori, I appreciate this, and man, excited. This is going to be an interesting year because Baylor's not done one of these. Like we're almost, bring in 30 or 35, change the roster over this much. The coaching staff has changed, somewhat. But I think that's got to be a fun part of the challenge for you, doesn't it?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. you take every day as they come. And we
Yeah.
tell our players it costs what it costs, right? Like, you never seen a Ferrari commercial because they didn't make them, right? When you show up, there's a certain cost, and you have to decide if you want to pay that cost to be great. And so right now, everything is working to where they're doing it. But we know there's going to be more challenges come, and we're going to face them head on.
Yeah, although you now coach in an era where one of your players may pull up in a Ferrari or
that's right.
Or,
yeah, no doubt. No doubt about that.
One of your players who I'm going to talk to later today, I think, had a Lamborghini deal in Orlando. So anyway, some very they didn't quite have that in New Mexico, did they?
No, man, please.
Yeah,
you barely got a scooter.
Moped or something like that.
No doubt.
But anyway, all right, Jacori, we'll look forward to meeting you in person. Thanks for doing this, and happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, if I'm doing my math right, you're still in your 30s, so still extremely young.
Oh, yeah.
But you do kind of have a veteran, with the mustache and the goatee. You kind of have an old soul, look about you. So, but anyway, happy birthday, and look forward to visiting with you in person.
Thanks, Matt.
You bet. There he goes, Jacori Greer, joining the Matt Mosley Show, Baylor's new defensive line coach. And, man, that was fun.